What is up, people on the interwebs? Hope you have an amazing day. Now, in today's video, I'm going to discuss a few things that are better in Japan than England. So let's dive on in. So, number one thing that I've noticed is a little bit better in Japan than England is Amazon. Now, Amazon is a lot better in Japan, mainly because when you buy items in Japan, depending on how much the item is, you get points from the items you buy, and those Amazon points you build, you can use those points to get discounts off products you buy in the future from Amazon. Now, I really like this. I definitely think in Japan, a lot more companies out here will have a point card system. So when you buy items down the road, you can get discounts with the points you have built up, which I really like when companies do this. It builds that kind of company, customer, brand loyalty, and also shows the appreciation when you buy products through those different companies. It just shows that little bit of brand loyalty and appreciation for the customers. So I like that Japan Amazon has points, and I think this point system should come to England. I think it's crazy how one country can have this point system but not another one. Now, number two, I love the stamp collection culture here in Japan. If you don't know what this is, I shall quickly show you. So, if you travel around Japan in many places, airports, shops, you just have to keep an eye out when you travel around Japan, but they will have these free little stamps to be a little souvenir of the place you went to in Japan. And all of these stamps are free, so I recommend to keep an eye out and collect the local stamps. I love this little souvenir process. It's a fun little journey of your time in Japan and where you have been. So I really love this stamp collecting culture. Now, these ones are free, and if you don't mind spending a little bit of money and you like traveling to the shrines, then you should definitely also collect the Goshoin shrine stamps throughout Japan. If you want to see a little bit more on these two stamp process journeys, then definitely check out my video on Japan stamps, where I just go into a little bit more detail of the whole stamp collecting journey of Japan. But I love that about Japan. I love collecting the stamps. I think this is one thing England should definitely put into the country, as I would definitely travel around my own country a little bit more, and that's one thing I love about traveling around Japan, is collecting all these stamps. Okay, number three, which I've noticed about Japan, I definitely find Japan has a lot more appreciation for life. I think one great example for this is all the flower viewings they have in Japan. I've never been invited to see so many flowers in my life, but I actually really enjoy it. Since when I first got here, I was a bit like, who wants to see flowers? Where now I love it because it shows such a great appreciation for life. And it's just these small things that the Japanese culture does that I find they have such more of appreciation for the smaller things in life, and to really just take in the moment of life. Okay, and then my last one is the Japanese toilets. Japanese toilets are amazing. I'm sure if you know nothing about Japan, you have probably heard about the Japanese toilets. They are great. But one thing you should be aware is I do love the Japanese toilets, but you also need to be careful because these are the fancy high-tech Japanese toilets. Japan and their toilets, they are very 0 to 100, where 100 is the fancy, lovely, high-tech Japanese toilet, where the 0 is the squat toilet that is on the floor. Now, if you stay in high populated cities, then you're going to be pretty safe. You're going to be finding these high-tech Japanese toilets all over the place. But if you go to the countryside, you are probably going to find the squat toilets a lot more in Japan, where the squat toilets were their original style toilet. And obviously through the decades, they have implemented the more high-tech toilet, but still in countryside places, the squat toilet tends to be the standard of toilets. A great example for this is Japanese schools. You will be surprised if you go into a Japanese school, you will find more squat toilets than high-tech toilets. This is slowly changing. I do believe every school needs to have one Western style toilet just in case they have any disabled people who work in the school or is a student. You'll also find in some places, if you go to any fashion malls or places with a lot of tourists or people, they will tend to have a mixture of the toilets in the bathrooms. You will have one side with the high-tech Japanese side and another with the standard squat toilets. And you will find, if especially for the women, if there is a long queue and you finally get to the front, you must think everyone is using the toilets, but you'll find the long queue is because everyone is waiting to use the high-tech Japanese toilet because people will not want to use the squat toilets. So the queue becomes even more longer because half the toilets are not being used. But my one advice for this, if you do not mind using the squat toilets, then definitely cut the queue and go. Since the beauty of one of the schools I worked in, they had one Western toilet, but that one was really gross, really grim. The squat toilets were actually a lot cleaner. But the worst thing for this toilet, it did not have a door. It just had a curtain, where the squat style toilets had a full lock-on door. And I thought, I will learn how to use the squat ones because I want that privacy. The fear of someone just walking in, opening the curtain, was too terrifying for me, so I learned how to use the squat toilet. But don't get me wrong, if there is a Western style toilet over a squat one, I will take it. Granted, if it's got the privacy and cleanliness. But because of these issues at one school, it made me learn how to use the squat toilet. So if I'm ever in a public place and it's got the Western style and squat toilet ones, and if there is a long queue because people are waiting to use the Western ones, I will happily cut the queue and use one of the squat toilets just to save my time, because once you know how to use the squat toilets, they are not too bad to use. It's just practice and learning how to use them. But there you guys have it. That is my video of today of a few things that is a little bit better in Japan compared to my home country. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you have lived in Japan, or if there's anything you've heard that is better in Japan than your home country, let me know in the comments down below, as I would love to know. If you've also enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to stay up to date with my videos as well, make sure that you subscribe as well. But just remember guys, keep being awesome, keep being amazing, and I will see you in the next Japan related video. Bye!